extremely surprised. Because he doesn't call me up or make contact with me as often as Uncle Paul does, or has done, in the past. So I really was surprised and glad, naturally. And your mother took the back door. She let your uncle Donald come in first, but she knew that he would his presence would surprise me more than hers, because she had been.
You knew she was coming.
I knew she was coming, right?
Yeah.
And she had been to the house, I think, a year before, hadn't she?
Yeah,
By
probably
herself.
the previous November.
Yeah. So when I had the whole floor with me, naturally Aunt Laura lives with me. I live with her. We live together. Then I had so many phone calls from her friends who I met through her.
Yeah, my friends
And,
called him to wish him a happy birthday. I wasn't even there.
Some
I get
people she
home and
knew
he
from
says,
church.
Mary Wilson called. She lives in Missouri now.
So it was a really a big surprise. And then Aunt Randy's father, he surprised me by calling up from Virginia. And it was a very emotional and tiring. You know, these things are wonderful to happen when you think about them after a while. But at the time that they're happening, if you're like me, you become emotional. That makes me very, very tired, exhausted.
Oh yeah.
So it affected me that way. But it was an experience I'll never forget. Even if I live to be 100. And if I said that to my mother, she would say, God forbid.
That's what Nana used to say. God forbid. If someone would say to her, for 100 years, happy birthday for 100 years, she would say, God forbid.
She went through a lot in her life.
Yeah, she lost 3 children under the age of 3.
Nana?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Grandpa was the first child to live past the age of 3.
Oh my God. I didn't know that.
And then Aunt Mary was born 14 years later.
Wow.
So he was an only child for most of his life.
And 2 of the children. One died in the beginning of the year. The other one died at the end of the same year.
Was it a disease?
Yes, the first 2 died of a disease, right?
It's hard.
So Grandpa did research, this is a number of years back, because he wanted to know where his siblings were buried. So after he did all of his research in the libraries and everything, he found out that they were actually buried in the same spot where his father and then Nana was buried.
Oh, wow.
So he had his siblings' names added to the headstone.
Oh, wow.
So I said to him, on this trip, I want to go into Holy Cross. It's in Brooklyn,
Oh,
to
yeah.
that cemetery
Mm-hmm.
to see that.
That would be nice.
Yep.
Speaking.
What was their names?
What's her name?
Your siblings that died.
The oldest was Catherine. Second was Rocco. And the third was Edward.
It's music. I'm going to start dancing.
And the fourth was Eremongildo.
And here he is, 90 years later.
And the fifth was Mary.
Mary Barbara.
Mary Barbara. But
And
Nana and I always called her Mary. My father called her Mary Barbara. And Uncle Eddie, I don't know whether you remember Uncle Eddie. He died only a couple of years ago. He called her Mary Barbara too.
So did Uncle Ted, right?
Huh?
Uncle Ted?
Uncle
Uncle
Ted
Ted-
died many years ago.
Did he call her Mary
Oh,
Barbara?
yeah, right, yeah.